Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Fred Macedo and I'm so excited to have you here. Today we're going to discuss a random theme of Spiritism in Gospel at Home. But before we get started, I want to ask you a question. Do you know Allan Kardec's, also known as Spiritist Doctrine? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Alright, let's get into it. We start with Our Father prayer. Please, Rosangela.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rosangela. I'm gonna pick now a random theme of the Gospel according to Spiritism. The need for charity according to St. Paul. Even if I were to speak all the language of men and the language of the angels themselves, if I did not have charity, I would be only like a sounding gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I were to have the gift of prophecy and grasped all mysteries, if I have the perfect knowledge of all things, if I had all the faith possible to the point of moving mountains, if I did not have charity, I would be nothing. And if I were to distribute my belongings to feed the poor, and delivered my body to be burned, if I did not have charity, none of this be of any use to me. Charity is patient. It is kind and benevolent. Charity is not envious. It is not rash or reckless. It's not full of pride. It's not scornful. It does not look after its own interests. It does not take offense or become upset by anything. It does not suspect evil. It does not rejoice in injustice, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hope for all things, endure all things. Now these three virtues remain: faith, hope, and charity. But among them, the most excellent is charity. St. Paul understood this great truth so profoundly that he said, even if I were to speak the language of the angels themselves, if I were to have the gift of prophecy and grasp all mysteries, if I had all the faith possible to the point of moving mountains, but I did not have charity, I would be nothing. Among these virtues, faith, hope, and charity, the most excellent is charity. Hence, without any doubt, he places charity above faith itself, because charity is within everyone's reach. The ignorant and the learned, the rich and the poor, and because it's independent of any particular belief system, he does even more. He defines through charity He shows that it's not only displayed in beneficence, but is the gathering of all the qualities of the heart in goodness, the benevolence toward one's neighbor. So, just a thought that occurred to me. Uh, if we don't have a religion, if we don't uh, believe in God itself, we cannot believe in anything. And if we do charity, if we do good things toward our others, it's preferable than having all the faith in the world, but our hands are not busy trying to help others. I think that's what St. Paul's meant about saying that even if he he would speak the language of angels, and if he doesn't have charity, he would be nothing. Thus, we have to get busy and do things for others without interest. I will, Emerson, do you have something to say?
No, so far so good. Thank you.
I will proceed the reading. Without the church, there is no salvation. Without the truth, there is no salvation. While the maxim, without charity, there is no salvation, is based on a universal person principle and gives all God's children access to supreme happiness. The dogma, without the church, there is no salvation, is based not upon a fundamental faith in God and the immortality of the soul, a faith common to all religions, but upon the special faith in particular dogmas. It is exclusive and absolute. Instead of united God's children, it divides them. Instead of steering them to love their brothers and sisters, it maintains and sanctions the strife among the sectarians of various denominations, which mutually regard one another as damned for all eternity, even though they might be relatives and friends in this world. But misunderstanding the great love of equality before the grave, it separates people from one another, even in the realm of repose. The maxim, without charity there is no salvation, it is consecrated to the principle of equality before God and freedom of conscience. With the maxim as a rule, all men and women are brothers and sisters, and whatever may be the way in which they worship the Creator, they hold out their hands to one another and pray for one another. With the dogma, without the church there is no salvation. They anathematize one another, persecute one another, and live as enemies. The father does not pray for the son does not pray for father, or the friend for a friend, if they believe each other to be condemned forever. Therefore, the dogma is essentially contrary to the teachings of Christ and the law of the gospel. Without the truth, there is no salvation, would be equivalent of without the church, there is no salvation, and would be equally exclusive because there is no one single domination that does not claim to be privileged with the truth. What person could boast of possessing the whole truth when the circle of knowledge is increasing constantly, and ideas are being rectified each and every day? The absolute truth is shared only among spirits of the highest order, and earthly humankind could not pretend to belong to that order because it has not been given to it to know everything. Humans can aspire only to a relative truth proportional to their advancement. If God have made possessing the whole truth as an express condition for future happiness, this would be a sentence of general prescription, whereas all may practice charity, even in its broadest definition. In according to with the gospel, Spiritism says that one can be saved with whatever one's belief may be, provided one observes God's law. It does not state, without Spiritism there is no salvation. And since it does not claim as yet to teach the whole truth, neither does it state, without the truth there is no salvation. A maxim that would divide instead of unite the world, perpetuate antagonism. Just a moment. So, we live in a society that everyone's believe he or she has the truth, and her or his religion is perfectly right. And this is a mistake, because what is religion? From the word religare, means reconnect to God. And since we are all different, we need different religions to reconnect to God. There are people that needs a religion that says about the demon and the angels, because they are not prepared to accept that the evil in his life or her life is about the wrongdoings of the past. But they are not wrong. They 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 just need uh, a less refined religion. They just need to believe that or you're right or you're wrong. There is not a middle term. But the test, I think the most important thing about this test is that charity, our working in good, in helping others, it's what matters the most, not a religion. Uh, Emerson practiced Mahikari art. Uh, for example, Ruben can be a Catholic, and so on. Camila, that's not here, practice Buddhism. So doesn't matter what is your religion, our religion. The religions can be different. It's no problem with that. The problem is when a religion says that it has all the truth and all other religions are wrong. That's what is not right. And when we read about the spirit's helm, that we are all be there when we die, we disincarnate. The spirit says to us that everyone that is good is working together with Christ. So there are Catholics, Spiritists, Buddhists, doesn't matter. Uh, como é que é rótulo em inglês, irmão?
Não me lembro. I don't remember.
Ok. It's like it's, um, it's like a label. Religion is like a label. Uh, God's law and uh, Christ's teachings are inside the label. The label of the bottle changes. Does it change what is inside the bottle? No. If you drink in a Coke and you have another beverage label, the Coke will change because you have changed the label? No, still, still is Coke, not the other, not orange juice, because you 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 painted an orange in the label. So religion is just a way to reconnecting us to God, but this way can vary, can be different to one another because we have different needs. If we have different needs in life, we don't each we don't need eat the same, we don't drink the same, we don't live the same. Why religion will be different? It's not. Everyone has its own uh, its own religion, and it's okay. Let's focus in doing what is good, in helping others, in changing ourselves, making efforts to do everything we know it's right, but we are still missing these very important things, these very daily things in our lives. How many times uh, we are not patient with our family members? How many times we change we um, we are not with our families because we are uh, at our smartphones. We are seeing things on our smartphones, and uh, we don't um, pass time, quality times with our families because the smartphones are stealing our time, our quality time, because we can have dinner at a table with our family, and a lot of times we are not present because we are seeing things on our smartphones. So that's it, folks. Thank you for tuning in, for participating, and I ask Christ to embrace, to help all the people that are suffering throughout the world. Rosangela um, Emerson, can you do the Mahikari prayer and then Rosangela? Thank you.
Sure, I can. Goku Biji So Gengen Shikaita Kama Harani Kamuta Mahimo Idemasu Kamurugi Kamuromi no Michikara Muchite Bansei Tohito no Miya Kamu Amatsu no Mahikari Omikami Arahido no Kamutachi Moromoro no Sakagoto Tamahi no Chuchumiki Garuba Mahikari Mote Harahi Kyomi Misogi Tamaite Kaminoko no Chikara Yomigarase Tamaito Mosu Koto no Yoshio Kashikumi Kashikomi Momosu Miyamoto Su Mahikari Omikami Mamorita Mai Saki Tamai Miyamoto Su Mahikari Omikami Mamorita Mai Saki Tamai Kanagrata Mahichi Amase Kanagrata Mahichi Amase.
We thank the good spirits who have come to communicate with us and ask them to help us put into practice the instruction they have given us. We also hope they will ensure that each one of us at the end of this session is fortified in the practice of good and love for our neighbor. We also wish these lessons may be useful for the suffering, ignorance, or different spirits who will able to attend this meeting and forum. We implore the mercy of good. Amen.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.